name is Jose Cortes. Actually just finished last week. Finished my cognate and finished my GSO2 meeting, so I'm done with the graduate program, which is awesome. I work at Solano College right now in a literacy lab, working individually with students, language learners, remedial students that are at a community college level. I was never a strong student by any stretch of the imagination. School was never really something that I was that interested in. I struggled through high school and stuff like that, and then I took some classes at a community college and took a remedial English course and didn't know what I was doing there other than I wanted to find something to do, and the teacher was just unbelievable. And it wasn't necessarily English at first that I was attracted to. It was the idea of being able to see somebody help transform somebody's life and give somebody kind of this self-esteem to build themselves up and to pursue something. And so I knew I wanted to teach, but I didn't quite know what. So I started applying to some colleges after I built up some general ed. I applied to Chico State, and when I was looking at declared major, I figured English looks okay, so why not try that? And it was the best choice that I ever made. So I went to Chico for my undergrad. I got a bachelor's degree in English, and then started working for a while. I earned a reading and language master's degree, and then also a TESOL certificate. My plan from now is to get into a position where I'll be teaching in the classroom English and ESL. Everything was directly applicable, right? We read research, I applied it the next day at work. We did case studies, all of our assignments were meaningful. The papers that we wrote directly related to the students that I worked with. And it's kind of hard to believe that over the course of 2 years, I've been able to progress as much as I have. I entered this program with questions, and I feel like I'm leaving with more questions than I had when I started. But I also look at my growth and look at my skill set as being able to work with students, and it's progressed tremendously. So yeah, I think every class has had some assignment that directly relates to how I work with students. We studied our students, we studied the assessment that our schools use, we study the programs that our schools have. So really, everything was directly filtered through work. So I left class one night, and the next day that I went to work, I applied what I was learning. I don't think I have the personality for an online program. I also don't think that so much of teaching and so much of is learning your persona and learning who you are when you stand in front of people. And a lot of our classes had actual teaching demonstrations as part of the assignments. That would have never been possible in an online program. Being able to stand in front of a group of people who I learned a tremendous amount from, who are other teachers who are taking these classes, in addition to the faculty that I had at Sonoma, just really gave me the chance to fine tune what I was doing and get additional feedback. And without those conversations that we had, and without the chance to actually stand in front of the class and practice teaching some of my ESL listening activities or lessons, or get the chance to stand in front of a group and do a grammar lesson on adverbs and adjectives, I would have never had that opportunity in an online program. I think the value in earning a TESOL certificate is being able to work with a population that's often marginalized. I think a lot of times language learners are dismissed because their ideas, when they're put on a piece of paper, don't necessarily reflect what's up here and the level of cognitive ability that they have, the level of ideas that they have, and they're silenced. A lot of times they're silenced because a comma's not in the right place, or a word is misspelled, or something is off syntactically. But when you get the opportunity to sit down and be able to work with this population and learn the skills, because at first, before I started this program, I was afraid. When I would sit down to work one-on-one with a student, I was overwhelmed by how do I help this student who is from a different country, who has a different experience than me, who speaks a different language than I do, and who doesn't write in a conventional way or read in a conventional way. How do I help them to gain that confidence they want to be able to fit within some of the conventions, but also stay true to who they are and stay true to what they are? So I think that having the TESOL certificate is tremendously valuable. It was one more class if you take the cognate path, so I walked out with 2 different sets of qualifications to make me more marketable as far as looking for a job. And then also I learned how to work with a population that before I started this program, I felt lost when I sat down to work with them. I think I feel more confident than I ever thought that I would be as a student. Again, like I said, school was never really my strong suit. But then once I focused in on what it was that I wanted to learn, I entered this program laser focused, and the faculty helped me stay that way throughout the time. So I think that more than anything else, what I take away from this experience is that I've become so much stronger of a teacher, and I've also taught myself, or been taught to think about education and what it means to be a teacher philosophically, and also how to adjust that philosophy that I have in education to apply to my pedagogy is just far beyond anything that I thought I'd gain over 2 years.